get your fucking hands up. Get your fucking hands up.
Yeah, actually, how do you have the giant iPad right now? Yeah, it's handy at this. I think we're going to get live soon.
We're seeing the players lining up. Hopefully it's going to be live very soon.
Yeah, the 90 minutes.
Oh, we're rolling. So have you noted a key starting lineup?
Well, I think we are live now. So we have those starting lineups on the floor. Looks like for Team Canada in this men's match, a bronze medal rematch from last year. Team Canada, we have Richard Thompson and Joshua Hustis running. John Wu probably going to receive one of the pitchbacks. Jason Mergler, Kaylin Esterbrookes, and Jeff Snow on the left side. On the Australian side, I don't know them as well, but I know we've got Ashley Chan in one corner. It looks like Watson is one of the runners. Wow, Desmond Onwamere with a quick throw.
Yep.
A little high. Incidentally, this is Terry Thrash, and I am joined by
Ben Johnson.
That's right. First time as a casting duo together.
We got an all-Canadian set right now.
And Onwamere knocked out there. So, Ben, how many times have you had a chance to watch these two teams play so far?
Well, so Team Canada, I saw their match against Malaysia, I believe.
Right?
I was watching it courtside, which was incredible and high energy, just to see a very even match. And I've caught glimpses of the Australian men's teams, and just to see them kind of maybe pick it up during the tournament.
Yep.
Maybe a slow start. But my favorite parts are how great they are at keeping themselves motivated on the sidelines with their cheers. I'm sure you can hear it quite a bit from up here even.
Yeah, that's one of the things we always come to count on from the Australian sideline and fans. Very loud group. much appreciated, brings the energy. And they're going to be looking to bring their best against a Team Canada squad that is currently undefeated.
It's like a slow back and forth right now.
Yeah, but I think each team feeling out the others a little bit. That shot from Mergler missing.
So,
Estabrooks hit out though.
yep. Attempted block, no good.
And coming into this match, Canada undefeated, currently in second place to Team USA on plus minus. Both teams 4 wins, no losses. Currently Team USA at plus 46 point differential, Canada plus 38. And we see Snow hit out there. Australia currently in 5th place, 3 wins, 2 losses, plus 11. So
I do feel a little bit of the plus minus will be, I've been following along with Norway. Teams that have and haven't played Norway, that will have a small effect. They know it.
Yep. Team Norway having a lot of fun so far, I think.
They are, and great spirit. And what I've also seen is great spirit out of the other teams.
Yeah.
It was a somewhat competitive match against Argentina, and the spirits remained high and positive even to the end.
Now we hear those Australian fans cheering.
Yep.
Ashley Chan avoids a shot and then directing.
Oh, do I see a catch?
Wow.
Yeah, Richard Tom Singh traps, pulls it in.
Now it's just Young.
And it hits.
Yeah. So Canada finishing that one off pretty strong to take the first set. It's like last time we saw Nathaniel Zanke on stream, he cramped up pretty badly at the end of the match with Malaysia. Good to see that he's back on his feet, moving around just fine as far as I can tell. I mean, he's sitting right now, but...
Yep. Well, and like, you know, it's a good play by the whole officiating staff to allow that player to get out. Like, not a full injury, but imagine if he kept playing with such a hard cramp.
I mean, any of us who've felt those cramps, we know that you're not going to move well.
And it's a good indication of this tournament. You're in hot, humid weather, playing constantly. The electrolytes and water that you need to keep active as a player. This is a 40-minute match, but it's played over a longer period.
Yeah, this tournament is a grind. Your conditioning is strained, but even in the event itself, I mean, you don't want to be subsisting on something like just Red Bull and pre-workout, right? Like you want to
get that ref stuff.
Yeah, you want to be hydrating. You need the right kind of fuel in you. Conduct the research into what your local nutritionist might tell you. Dietitians probably happy to help with this kind of thing. We got to stay energetic. We got to stay healthy. Blue Team Canada, we also see, I believe I see their massage therapist traveling with the team this time, Johnny Lowe.
Well, and Team Canada is one of the examples of a full complement. You have the coach, you have supporting coaches, as well as very marked ball retrievers or shaggers. And that's otherwise you'll see other teams will have to wear pennies, like on the Australia side, the red pennies of the 3 eligible shaggers and retrievers to grab the balls. But Team Canada with the black and yellow there to clearly distinguish themselves as trained retrievers.
We've had a long ref huddle at the center here. Now we see co-captain Garcia Silveira and coach and former Australian national team player Nico Senna-Varatne receiving the word. I have no idea what this one's about, to be totally honest.
Yeah. And it's been so long, it's hard to remember what was happening.
There's head rules official for the tournament, Alex Svetlovsky, in there as well. He's returned to the side. And all right, it breaks. And we'll see if we can get word what's going on. But pending any update there, 17:24 remaining in the first half. Canada up 1-0.
We're back at it.
You may be able to hear Team Argentina taking a point in the background.
A quick start by Canada.
And I think that shot from Estabrooks.
Hard, accurate shot on player 30.
Yeah, that is Jaden Watson.
One of the things I noticed is he waited to make the confirmed kill.
Yep.
He could have shot quickly, but that player slowed down as they're almost crawling out of the way. And Australia's making the play call.
And then
Exchanging balls.
Mergler hit out as well.
Yep.
But also, we see a loss on the Australian side as I'm not actually sure who that was. Might have been Michael Tran. Oh, big shot.
Snow in the ankles. Down to 2 players.
Love those ankle shots, that accuracy. Onwamere gunning for Silvera, who,
Love the jump.
yeah, good ups on that guy. Works as a personal trainer. He's personally trained me, and he'll work you pretty hard if you let him. Nice jump as well from Onwamere.
A lot of athleticism this year for Team Canada. Matched, of course, by Australia, but
That
beautiful.
Yeah, Garcia Silvera. I think he was already walking off. The back judge there confirming.
Yep.
Estabrook, who has a cannon throw.
He does. I'd say top 3 in Canada.
Probably.
And only 22, so we'll see what the future holds for that player. Funny enough, I'm wearing a Estabrook's college jersey.
Oh, interesting. No bias, though.
No bias, no bias.
Good block. He absorbs
Hey,
a
he's
bit
got a
of
1v situation, though.
Yeah, and Australia deciding not to charge there. That's Leung on the far corner. Leitner in the middle. Onwamere electing to throw.
Good catch. No good.
Yeah, well played by the Australians. They didn't force things too hard. They didn't give Kalen Estabrooks too much of a chance to really pick them off. Just played it really well. Tie up the match, 1-1.
Especially because it's so early. There's no need for either team to begin to start rushing. And it's not the type of match where you're necessarily focused on accruing sets for wins.
Yep.
Okay. Are we doing a hand check? Oh.
It may be that somebody complained about something that was on the balls, or the refs may have noticed something on the balls. I know some players in league play really like to use like liquid chalk or something, but anything that kind of makes a mess on the balls or a risk to the facilities is not allowed here.
And you're allowed certain types of tape as long as it's not a double adhesive. The grippy tape is not good.
Yeah. Yeah, things that if you need them to like stabilize your fingers or something, that's okay. Oh, so quick.
Player exchange.
Onwamere getting that ball really quickly and letting it go just as quickly. Waddingham traded out on the other side.
Is there anything you can point out in terms of play style differences between Australians and Canadians?
Well, I think one thing I've definitely noticed from the Canadian men's team is you'll see even when they're on defense, if they can get up to the center line and kind of take it and force the other team to earn it or draw out some bad throws, they will absolutely do that.
And I enjoyed being near the sidelines and hearing Coach Victor Gavelli preparing his team ahead of while on defense for how they're going to respond. Sometimes with a very active response. It was just exciting just to see how prepared Team Canada is for the next steps.
Although there we see a nice shot out from Chan. Leitner threatening a bit, and we see Watson hit out.
And back and forth.
Yeah, Snow hit out as well.
So I learned something from Australia. Turns out we might have been one of the first countries to use the solo player, or the ball with when it's a solo ball. It has so many words to describe it now, but the Australians started calling it the O Canada. When you have one player, is that a catch?
I think they're saying...
Okay, referee going to go discuss.
The first signal from Refi and Asang was that it was a wash, like that the ball may have skimmed in the ground first.
So it's either a ground first or a confirmed catch.
Looks like an out.
He gets the out.
Thank you. Well,
so yeah, as I was saying, the O Canada is what they call it, the solo fisher.
I feel like I saw it a lot for the first time at Worlds 2017. Lisa Mora doing a phenomenal job with it on the women's team. Yeah, we see Leitner hit out.
He shot on 4.
And we see a nice shot toward Cameron Ranican.
Oh, wow. And 1, 2. Nice game. All right, so it's a 2-1 lead now.
Yeah, we saw Canada really close that out with some good accurate throws. We've seen, a couple of times you were mentioning how the team is prepared on defense as well. We've seen a couple of times the Canadian side use those corners to just rush. They pick a moment and they seem to don't even need to say anything necessarily. They go at the right time, synchronized, and just attack.
I can imagine that it has like a force of intimidation just to see them charge hard. I'd love to see some of the smaller elements that Australia uses to make their game unique.
Yeah, last year, the Australian team, we saw a lot of those rush counters after the play was delivered, but some of the players who are doing that the most are not on this year's incarnation of the team, so...
See off into the distance, there's a good 1v2 situation.
Ooh, that time...
Tremendous jump.
Yeah, Onwumere hit out this time and not able to connect on his opening shot, so advantage Canada on this particular rush. And we see them missing. Leitner unloads and gets traded back. And Wu hit out as well.
Hey, feel the pace picking up. Australia's got the offense, so they're slowing it down. Oh, ball's up. Oh, he could have caught it. Oh.
It's hard to track
Try,
those.
Brooks.
Yeah, it's hard to track those, but I think it landed on his head.
Well,
on
it
the
was
way
literally out of sight because of it dropping on his head. That would have made one of the best ever catches if it bops off his head and went into his hands.
I would have appreciated that.
Yeah, that would have been a saved Twitch file.
Yeah, best of dodgeball. Here
Exactly.
we come.
Becoming a GIF.
We see Canada coming up. It's Zanke and Ranikan.
Oh, disarmed. Hey, keeping a quick pace.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that was a catch, though. He scooped up a ball that was bouncing.
The only way that would be a catch is if it maybe hit his foot and then popped up between the two balls he was already holding. That was a little bit wild. I think they're saying, that it skimmed in on the ground. Your inclination was correct. It looked cool.
It did. And famous for catching, though, as well. So it's hard not to imagine it being a catch situation.
You see, he likes catching so much, he gave a second ball to Garcia Silveira.
Yeah.
Zanke drawing in a ball. Garcia Silveira trying to draw something out. Takes a good pitcher windup and eliminates Jaden Watson. Watson, who plays with the, I think, prescription goggles. Definitely they are goggles. I just don't know if they are prescription. Garcia Silveira forces the 1-for-1.
Takes the... but we're wondering if it's a successful trade. Let's see if the refs between them have some confidence that that was a hit.
Yeah, I heard two sounds, but it's a little hard to tell from here what those sounds were sometimes. So
sometimes I'm amazed that our ears can pick up things like that. We're an entire stadium full of people throwing balls right now.
Yeah, but Michael Tran was hit out on that trade, so it was a 1-for-1. Now we've got another
a 1v1 situation.
Ranikan very experienced with these.
Incredibly.
And Ashley Chan is going to try and match the Canadian veteran.
Wow, what a hit! Right above the feet. As accurate as it gets.
That's perfect. That is exactly the spot you want to put a shot on a player like Cameron Ranikan, because he's probably not going to catch it if it's right on his shoelaces. And under those blocking balls, just perfect delivery.
And boy, do we have a game too. 2v2.
And even match we were hoping for a nice, close, exciting one. And right away again, Garcia Silveira avoiding that one. Zanke with the trade. Wow.
2 players out.
Canada surviving, so that's a pretty big edge for them this time. But last time they had the 1-player edge and Australia was still able to take the point.
I'd say overall it's fairly even opening rush, but there was secondary action that Canada had that pulled out those 2 players.
Mergler knocked out as well. Leitner lost. Leitner, who's represented Australia in the cloth World Championships a few times. He also claims to own over 160 pairs of unique pairs of socks. That is maniacal.
Have you heard that some of the Australians have a regular league team named after Jason Mergler?
Yeah, it comes up because that jersey...
Famously.
Yeah, it's a... nice catch by Watson, catching out Snow. Yeah, the Melbourne Merglers. I believe they took a picture of Jason Mergler from a previous World Championship photoshopped him into a suit.
Back and forth.
And Wu knocked out as well.
3v3 now.
Yeah, so these are some close points.
Oh, and a strong throw for Zanchi.
And we see another hit onto Hustis, though.
Oh, we got a line violation, but they didn't notice it.
Yeah, view from that back judge may have been a little obscured. And now we see the Australians to the line on Wamere.
Good jump.
Yeah, going low on Zanki.
Ski, though, he is a great example of an unpredictable player. Some people always jump. Others I enjoy do like this flutter jump, like we just saw.
Yep.
Where they kind of lift their body, but likely because they're about to do a secondary motion if they need to.
Yeah,
otherwise, you just open.
we saw a big throw trying to come toward Garcia Silveira, but missing was number 12, Tran. And Garcia Silveira blocking that one. Looking across on Onwamere. Zanki hit out. So it's just going to be first-time co-captain Matthew Garcia Silveira, who's been on this national team, I believe his 3rd year now.
I feel like since we're in Cancun, we need to be like Garcia Silveira. Let's go even faster. Oh,
big shot.
Hit to the left shoulder.
Yeah, big shot from Tran. That is the elimination. Australia takes the 3-2 lead, and we hear their fans. See, the women's team is down there cheering on the men's side as well. We've seen that from most of the countries.
Yep. I feel like Argentina brings the most enthusiasm.
Yeah, we've been claiming on the stream that Argentina is actually louder than Australia.
Yep. Oh yeah. They do one thing. There's a little bit of whistling too.
Oh, interesting.
As someone who's done some refereeing today, it was very distracting because I kept thinking that someone on my court was also whistling. So I'd much prefer the oi oi oi.
Right. Yeah, it's got some character, that's for sure.
Yeah. While Norway was playing Malaysia, I started a Norway, 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 and then Argentina up in the stands picked it up.
Oh, that's nice.
And you could see some amazing sportsmanship from Malaysia as they kind of played a soft, easy game so that there was kind of better moments for Norway.
Ooh, Tom Singh just drops on Wamere as he fell to the floor. Those ones can be tricky because if you try to throw up toward a downed player, you can have that ball pop up and turn into a catch. You see Leitner, I believe that was, hit out.
Yeah, anytime you're throwing to a player in the first 15 feet of the court, that might be them intentionally getting that ball popped up. There's often 3 to 4 players ready and shadowing, as they'd say, for that possible pop-up.
You see Australia dealing well.
Strong throw on Mergler.
That's another one, coming and colliding with Mergler just before the ground. Beautifully placed. I think that was Tran's ball again. And Hustis.
Australia's not lacking in accuracy.
Australia's really doing a good job of hitting Canada as Canada's backing off on the offensive.
And when they have balls in their hands.
Yep. And Canada returning the favor.
Yet again, 3v3.
Yeah, Leong knocked out. And now we see shot toward Tom Singh.
Sliding back, pulling his body down and lifting his ball up.
Richard Tom Singh, famous for never smiling. Ever.
Is that why Team Canada makes serious photos so that everyone can look alike?
Yeah, it's just based on Rich's preferences, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They did one of everyone smiling, one of everyone serious, but then Richards was both serious.
And well, those throws missing. Oh, that pop up just landing in front of Tom Singh could have been a double.
So do you have a term on, say, number 10, sliding back, keeping his body open for a potential catch? I've heard teddy bear.
I've never heard that. That's interesting.
So, but it's an intentional move. If you're somewhat caught up at the line, sort of backpedaling isn't good enough often. So just doing that fall back puts so much of your body in that catch position.
Yep. I know it's not unique to her, but I tend to associate that with Canada's Shauna Rowe. That's kind of a signature move for her. Oh, that shot coming very close to Watson's feet. Snow coming up aggressively. Tom Singh accompanying him. Jeff Snow looks like a Street Fighter character out there, moving laterally. Avoids the ball. Thompson traded.
That ball goes low for Snow. He's got 2 balls in his hand. And 2 guns. Left, right, up, out.
Yeah, we saw Jeff Snow do that thing he's pretty famous for, throwing with one arm and taking one step and throwing with the other.
Incredible.
Timeout called by Canada, and I understand that they currently do not have the momentum. Australia up 4-2.
Time to regroup. What an advantage for a single player to have fully ambidextrous body. Because a tournament like this, even if in an individual moment, which it was advantageous that you could 1-step, 2-step throw the balls, but just the fact that the whole tournament you could have your arm be likely that much more fresh.
Yeah, spreading out the burden of throwing. I mean, throwing at this level is a violent action applied to your arm over and over and over.
The Norwegian team had to rest some of their players because it was the first experience of kind of seeing that much hard, constant throwing again and again. And we're midway through the tournament, so we have to think about making it through the whole thing.
Yeah, my first recreational level tournament, my arm was done halfway through the day.
Yeah. That's why you see the rise of the massage guns.
Yep.
The savior for us all. Enter discount code now.
I got one of those knobby canes to just kind of try and work out those kinks. As we see after the timeout, we'll see if Canada...
a catch! Team catch.
Mergler right there. Will pick up that ball off of, I believe that was Waddingham, absorbing the initial shot.
Good example like we talked about earlier. If a player's farther up the line, that a ball bouncing back has shadowed players ready to catch.
Yeah, we call those shadow catches. You got players shadowing each other, just ready for the pop-ups or a ball that makes its way through the initial target. And we see that shot from Leitner evaded by Garcia Silveira.
My highlight team catch that I watched was Jeff Snow's catch, which I'm sure you guys commentated on, against Malaysia.
Ooh. Speaking of Jeff Snow, he just gets tagged in that lead shin. But yeah, Jeff's had some good moments against Malaysia.
I feel like he was almost falling out of the court, but stayed in. Oh.
Yeah, we see, looks like a couple of grazes on Mergler. The refs are talking, though. They stop play immediately. I think
as the team captain, he's going up, not as the player.
Yeah, co-captain Mergler. So I think that might have been a line violation before the ball that eliminated Jason Mergler was thrown. And looks like there's some clarification being given by the refs to the sidelines.
Player advantage for Canada.
Yeah, finding out there was a line violation and that your player is safe, that's a pretty big swing.
Yes.
See Australia, now Canada with that aggressive posture. They don't come all the way up though. Waddingham hit out.
A great slide. Stay alive for Australia.
Mergler
crushing.
He's up a little bit by himself. That cross-court shot, that looked good, but Leung just kind of missed.
Mergler's pressuring. I quite enjoy because he switches body sides as he goes up.
Oh, nice dodge. Leung gets over that ball, kind of kicks his legs up to the side as he went up. And now, big shot from Watson.
Oh, cross court. Cross court again, but no luck.
Hey, you see that a lot at this level of play. A lot of people will look to throw cross court, try to attack from outside the vision of the players.
And I'd say, part of it maybe not necessarily being outside of the vision, but because there's so much great pump faking and aggressiveness by the guards on the opposing side for that teammate, that it's just hard to tell.
You saw that Canada charge.
Unsuccessful. No trade.
And Houston's missing. He's disappointed with himself. Canada's been able to use that to force one-for-ones pretty often, and just I'd say like doing it early intimidates the other team, but Australia absorbing it just fine.
The noise is going up. Estabrooks with the shot. Hard on the hips.
Estabrooks with a great sidearm, good overhand. He's got a few different curves he can apply to that ball too. So he lets go toward the side, but just getting out of the way there was Michael Tran. And it's Trin going across. Estabrooks ready for it.
Staying low. 2v2 action.
2 shots, and they find Watson, and I think they found Trin as well.
Wow.
I mean, coming out of that timeout, Canada obviously needed a bit of momentum for themselves. And looks like they found it, so they've closed the gap to 1 point. And just seeing if
Change up of the staff, the players. John Woo's back in.
And we'll see if we can get some updates from the other courts as well as we approach halftime. We got 3.5 minutes remaining.
False start.
Yeah, you see the ref, that's 1 over to Australia. As we mentioned a little bit before, each team gets 1 false start per half. That is just a warning. After that, you do start down a player. So 1 is, you know, it's okay. 2 is bad. 3 is a lot worse. So.
Okay, I heard that was the program.
Yeah, but this time, nobody going offensive off the rush. John Woo back on the court on the right side. Snow still on the left side. We see Canada keeping a certain core of players in this match pretty consistently. It's always a challenge to figure out how to use your players and keep the right mix of competitiveness and freshness for future matches and just the chemistry between players.
Bubbles out. So close for Estabrooks.
Yeah, we saw him bend back and just, I think he
Incredible
juggled that ball
flexibility.
6 or 7 times before it just fell out behind him. 2 shots coming, they find Watson.
Watson's out.
He seems to be a target for Team Canada. He's got a very good, accurate throw.
I feel like Team Canada has one of the deepest benches here, though. It makes it its own strength and challenge. Not sure how many players are kind of eligible this moment, because I'm seeing a lot of jerseys. But some teams I've been impressed at like a shorter roster, so that means a lot of play time.
We saw Tran knocked out there, as well as Leung. Good solid shots coming out from Canada, but they still have a job to do.
Very strong players left for Australia.
Onwamare, longtime member of this team, super nice person.
Yep.
And pretty active out there dodging. I don't know if he sees that ball. It's rolling over to his retriever. That's okay. And that show right on Burglar. Onwamare listed as one of his team strengths, complimenting his teammates.
You need that.
Yeah, one of those positive morale boosters for a team, and 2-on-2, we'll see if he can close things out. Good shot towards Snow.
I feel like we've been seeing Chan a lot in these 2v2 or 3v3 situations, so he's been doing a great job surviving and contributing.
He's rushing on Wameri out. Snow tag
he's down to 1v1.
Yeah.
Eustace,
great mobility, some solid shots. Tran,
and it's a revenge set for him to make up for that earlier out.
Yeah, Chan has had some great throws as well.
Low, but not low enough.
Chan seems pretty confident out there in these kinds of scenarios.
You see that Chan's keeping that third ball in front of him, both to access it, but also to protect himself. And how important was that? Releases the ball, grabs the next one, and it was absolutely needed to defend himself. I've been seeing players like Chan hold 3 balls as they move. And you can see
Eustace aggressive.
Up and out.
Yeah, Eustace frustrated.
Actually, and I wanted to talk about this during the broadcast, just seeing some players that they put one ball right in their elbow and that second ball there, and they can be way more aggressive. And we saw how it paid off.
Yeah, I think the trade-off is that you obviously can't move as much with that one arm if it's holding 2 balls, but yeah, it's a choice, kind of a personal choice whether you want
It's a very offensive tactic. Not offensive in the wrong way.
Yeah, a lot of players like to keep that third ball over on the side with the ball retrievers, but
you need that ball retriever to be really keyed into what you need if you wanted to keep that pace up.
So
Got some light coaching right now. It's gone quiet.
Yeah, not sure what that huddle was about, but either way, Australia moving up,
Well,
5-3 lead.
You're also technically allowed 30 seconds between the sets.
Yeah.
So sometimes we've seen coaches take maybe a little bit more than 30 seconds.
And only 23 seconds left in this half.
Oh,
We see Wu hit out. And Canada is going to want to try and eliminate some bodies before the half ends. Watson avoiding those shots.
put his hand up, but
Looks excited.
yeah.
Zanke takes a shot. I think he connected with Tran. And we see a couple of losses from the Canadian side as well. Mergler and I think Garcia Silveira hit out. So I think that's a 4-on-3 player edge for Australia going into sudden death.
The half.
Sudden death, no blocking. You can use that ball in your hands in every way except to actually stop an incoming shot. That will get you out. Oh, Australia is still with 5. So this will be a tough task for the Canadian team, whereas Australia is going to try and extend that lead.
So you likely see a lot of offense. Snow's preferring to drop the ball. Radigan with a shot, but a catch.
Leitner, a big play. Zanke now driving him back, takes a shot and misses. Nathaniel Zanke and Jeff Snow going to have to take down 6.
An army of players. They've got ball advantage right now. Pressure's on them.
And I think there's a high chance we see those corners from Australia rush on a counter.
Shots fired, no hits.
Wow.
Oh,
Canada,
6 balls, 6 players.
Canada going full empty hands there and not able to connect.
Yeah.
Snow hit out, and this is going to be tough for Zanke.
Coordinated team play.
Zanke takes a shot from basically his knees.
And because there's no effect on the clock, they can take their time in Australia.
Leitner closes that one out with a big shot. Team Canada down 6-3, and I think the referees just kind of, maybe that was an excessive celebration warning. I'm not sure, but
if it's going to be a warning, we'll see after all the refs come in to discuss. Ian is saying the head ref is going to be telling the benches which direction they should go. No high fives, grab your bags.
Yeah, we're just going to see, obviously at the half, these teams are going to switch sides. We'll see if the momentum follows the Australian team or stays on their physical side of the court.
So what do we get to do in this 5-minute break?
Well, we get to talk about whatever we want.
Fabulous. What's your favorite part of Cancun so far?
You know what? So this might sound weird to a lot of people, but it's too hot for me here in Cancun. So my favorite part right now is the air conditioning in this venue.
Yeah, it's been shocking to leave here at 9:30 at night and then be stunned by a wall of humid heat.
Absolutely.
And we have no idea right now if it's sunny outside. So I'm glad that there isn't any lighting showing us. It's almost like being in a casino.
Right.
Where, like, we can kind of live off the fumes of dodgeball without being distracted by sun and beach. Who knows that we're in Cancun right now?
I mean, admittedly, it is very pretty here.
It's gorgeous. It's unbelievable.
Cannot fault the choice of city as the venue. So
my shuttle from the airport to my Airbnb was a beautiful scene. And
yep. So we're going to see, certainly if Australia can pull off this victory, I think you'd have to count it as an upset because they have 2 losses in 5 matches coming into this and are currently in 5th, whereas Canada undefeated in 4 matches, I believe, coming into this. So not a huge upset. Australia has historically been one of those kind of 4 big countries over the last 3 years. That's always a medal threat. So.
And it's an example of a well-run and developing, like, strong brand, strong player performance for both genders.
Yep. Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching a women's match earlier where Australia and Team Mexico were playing, and Those Australian women look very, very strong. They won by quite a bit in that particular match.
And I'd say Australia has my favorite jerseys.
Interesting.
So they're going with the blue and yellow to match the Olympic look. Because you might expect a green and yellow, but I believe that Australia is trying to differentiate itself from South Africa.
Oh,
For
interesting.
the sake of that they also use, but they use black as well as the green and yellow.
Canada trying to differentiate themselves from everybody this year.
Yep. Who needs a good-looking uniform?
Well, I think it's exotic. I don't know if I'd say it's not good looking, but
I prefer the women's jersey because they have maybe for me it's an easier to defend and a stronger color, I guess.
The
from
purple
a
on the
distance.
women's side.
Yeah. Whereas it's a little bit faded from a distance for me.
That's fair. I think I've got a slight aesthetic preference for the purple on the women's side as well, but yeah, Canada's motto this year for their national program was "Bold as we can." They decided to apply it to the jerseys as well, and
that I appreciate. Like the videos, the color scheme, everything leading up to it is very cohesive and professional.
And the second half is underway, and
Oh.
I think that was a hit. Garcia
Silveira trying to stay alive, but a patient pitch.
Yeah, but a little bit of an exchange at least. We see back and forth. I think that one bounced before it hit.
The retrievers minding their space. Ball goes over to Canada.
We see a little bit of maybe mixing things up. We see Mergler and Snow in the middle for Canada now.
Yeah.
Wu and Estabrooks in the corners. Australia,
Ball's up
that
and
one up.
out.
Yeah, too far.
And Mergler's headed up too.
Yeah, so good shots coming out of Team Australia. And we see them evade that shot from Snow. Snow shifting back and forth between the lefty and the righty posture. Estabrooks evades that. And we see Leung kind of threatening from that right corner.
The right guard for Australia is doing an incredible job of pressuring and protecting his players.
Yeah, it is Chan and Leung right now putting up the pressure. Lightning in the middle. And we see that hit on Zanke. Oh, and Snow way out of bounds at the back.
Line violation.
Australia hyped up.
We got a 1v situation, but it's a tough one.
Estabrooks evades a
alive.
couple.
Retrieves his own ball. So he's not doing the 3-ball set.
No.
He's comfortable with 2. His retrievers are ready for him though.
Estabrooks
Protects himself.
taking a shot from a little farther back, wants to be a little bit more safe. He goes for a 2.
So, well, I believe they would have called that the O Canada there, that fishing for a ball, and it was very successful.
Estabrooks active on defense and what a grab!
Almost a surprise catch there by the guard.
Yeah, I don't think that's one you would be like, all right, I'm going to go for this. That looked like a pure reaction to me.
A cannon shot right into like his ball in his body.
Yeah.
You could almost see that like excited reaction of just seeing that the ball stuck there.
Yeah, great reflexes to just kind of squeeze it and close out the point.
Well, and like one thing I learned from was like analytics in baseball that it's very clear that your body isn't watching the full pitch.
Right.
As a batter, you see the initial movement up at that player's arm at the release, and then your brain reacts to what you see. It wouldn't be any different though. You're not watching that ball into your hand.
Yeah.
You see that initial throw, and your body reacts.
Yeah, good last second reaction. We see Waddingham hit out on the opener. A couple of shots toward Leung. And they've got, I think, 5 balls in hand for Australia now. Tom Singh's going to do the O Canada himself. Does not save Mergler, though.
So at this point, Canada is going up against the clock as well. Like it's still fairly early in the half, but Australia now could take their time and close out wins as they...
Yeah, and we see a 2-for-1 for Australia, which I'm sure they will take.
Yep. Canada makes its way to the corners.
Yeah, right now Australia
ready to fire one. Up, down, and he's out.
See, one nice thing I appreciate is that when he was out, he gently rolled the ball over to his teammate Garcia Silveira. Garcia Silveira has A lot of movement, good hard shots. He takes that second one and
Right to the
connects.
chest with Leon.
He's still got 4 to deal with, though.
Garcia Severa. Cross courts it.
He's holding on to 3 right now. See if
So
he does.
he's ready to use one as a block.
Yeah, you see him just kind of pop it up and forward a little bit.
Yep. So it's like creating a little castle sometimes.
Ooh.
You see a player that
We saw Garcia Silveira connecting. It's like
Number
Chow
17.
knocked out.
Chow.
And
Shots
now
fired.
Garcia Silveira,
Successful
wow.
block.
He throws himself to the ground.
Oh, arms.
He's been
Ready
willing to
for-
he's been willing to throw that second ball
Yeah.
basically every time.
He's just ready for a potential catch. Wait, you see that? Oh.
He's like, you're next.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I thought he was pointing like, you got me.
Australia coming up.
Oh,
What a
he
catch!
did it! Waddington back in.
Yeah, Watson's ball was scooped up there.
And they got outgoed all their balls.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think they're talking about whether they should have done that, but
It
both
was-
of them dumping that second ball.
They had the ball advantage, 4-2, and very quickly, all incredible reflexes there by Garcia Silveira. Up, down. Okay. They didn't get burned by the 6 versus 0 balls.
Yeah, but that is a tough situation to put yourself in.
Let's see if, and again, number 3, Chan, contributed to a 2v2 situation.
Yeah, he has been maybe the most solid player for Team Australia in this match so far. We see one cross-court attempt going a little wide. Waddingham and Garcia Silveira against Chan and Tran.
Uh-oh. Team Ann over here.
I'll trip over my words at some point, I'm sure. Oh, nice.
All right.
That looked like a bit of a hard landing, but Tran's
Oh,
fine.
oh.
Ooh.
Chan staying alive there. Chan and Tran with 2 balls each.
Yeah. And we see them go towards Silveira.
The refs need to talk about this one. I saw the ball drop.
I think they're saying that's a catch. I think, yeah, maybe Tran there thought that it had skimmed off the ground.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and a win.
Well, that is a couple of clutch catches out of Garcia Silveira. Able to bring that back
You're
from a
never
tough
out.
situation.
And that's one of the most amazing things about, like we say, like catching, hard to do, but has an incredible leverage for place. It's a one versus many situation, but
And
you know,
it's such a big swing if you can make those catches, like you're saying.
okay. Is this a timeout situation? It looks like they're taking their time.
Yeah, Australia huddled up right
Yeah.
now.
Canada getting some waters and freshening up. John Woo coming in. Victor Gravelli. I noticed a custom tracksuit. He's got
Yeah.
Team Canada head coach on the green Adidas sweater there. It's a trademark look for sure.
Yeah.
It's one of the more fun parts of seeing this environment. Is he's a very well-known figure in the dodgeball community, both in Canada, but even in the world stage.
I'd say so. He's been a prominent member of the Canadian organization for a while now, and Canada's been so prevalent on the world stage that, yeah, Coach Victor Gravelli's profile is pretty significant.
Yeah, and he coaches the college team in Ontario as well. Are you familiar with these maps?
I am. I had to play against them in provincials last year, and they wrecked us. So.
I'm sorry about that, yes. Well, and it shows you, one of the things I enjoy most about dodgeball is it is a skill in a team game.
Yeah.
They're not simply just finding top-level talent, because there isn't a history of what top-level talent really means in dodgeball. Learning the tactics, learning the skills, and the nuances have such a huge difference. So you can see how well that college team does.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of the newer countries to this style. They're adjusting, and some of those little choices that you make if you're used to a different style of dodgeball, some of those little choices you make kind of instinctually aren't right for this style, but both Australia and Canada here, they are veteran teams.
Oh.
And off the rush, we see Zanke eludes that shot, so Canada's going to be on offense to start.
So I wonder, did you talk about, or have you seen some of these?
They probably want to get Chan out as early as they can. He's
not a
been
bad
strong.
tactic there. But some opening rushes have involved using a player's foot. A player will put their foot over another player's foot to create somewhat of like a starting block.
Like a brace for the push-off point.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And so, because you see some players do like a sprint formation for their opening rush.
Yep.
This takes it to another level. I'm not sure how much of a time difference it makes. I'm curious how much it hurts your feet.
So John Woo is down there. He got hit out. I didn't see if something ended up hurting him, but he's crouched down on the sideline.
I'm guessing it's something around his face. He's
Nice shot onto Snow. He was not able to get his hands on that ball.
Australia protects the front line.
Yeah,
Gets
they're guarding
another
that.
ball for it.
There's that ball slowly rolling their way. Garcia Silveira fighting for it.
It does a trade now 2v2. Jason Mergler and Kaylin Estabrooks on the one side.
That looks like we have Leung on the near side here, and I think that's Leitner on the far side.
But also, look at those socks for Australia.
Yeah.
Like we could see them from 2 miles away.
Westabrooks just barely getting out of the way of that one.
All right, burden on Canada. They decide to cross.
Oh, that second shot absorbed by Leitner.
The trailer.
Yeah, it's risky. Canada's very willing to throw that second ball very often. Estabrooks is hit out. Mergler alone. They're going to throw at him before he gets the ball, I'm sure. And they find him.
Australia. It's now 8-4, I believe.
And yeah, the ref's warning Garcia Silveira. Keep it cool.
Yep. And most of the time you've seen, if anything, it's just over-celebrating.
And we do have an update from the other courts. Mexico leading Argentina 7-3. And Malaysia currently up 9-1 over Hong Kong. Those are both men's division matches as well. So, just an update. Mexico 7, Argentina 3, and Malaysia 9. Hong Kong 1.
Regional rivalry with Malaysia and Hong Kong, with Asia Pacific.
Yeah, they've both been participants in these WDBF championships for quite a few years now. Had many chances to build up a friendly rivalry.
The women's match with those two teams was very close, if I recall.
Yeah, we've seen some good close matches. Yeah, I think we see the ref again saying to the Canadian side, keep it cool. As we said in my ultimate frisbee days, Chile. Not the country, but just your attitude needs to be a little bit cool. There's also a warning to the Australian side, excessive celebration by one of the ball retrievers.
Like I said, it's way more likely you'll find a team doing that.
Yeah,
17 taken out.
Yeah, just
Chan.
I think that is Chow. Interestingly, he's not in our list of players, but I think we can read his name correctly. Canada to the line. It's Ranikin this time evading. Oh, wow, and we see a couple of quick hits on the corners.
We have a player advantage now. Let's see if Canada can close out a win this time.
Yeah.
Australia has the balls.
Both Leung and Chan have been devastating out of the corners, so good move by Houston.
Houston keeps his feet up. Yep.
Yeah, he just seems to move around pretty effortlessly sometimes. It's kind of crazy how fast he is.
Floats, stings. Back to Australia's burden.
Garcia Silveira takes that
Very
shot.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Low but great blocking by Australia.
Yeah, Leitner saw it coming in enough time. Great shots on his Anki.
Yep.
But that is 2 balls at least back for Canada. They're going to be okay with that, I'm sure.
Just notice Estabrooks has a great ability to just slink up to get balls that are loose.
Yeah.
It's very fluid with his body.
And solid with his throw. Australia now looking for Hustis. That return shot connects. Yeah, Hustis knocked out as well.
We got a 1v situation, 1v4.
Yeah, it's just Leitner.
And the volume's picking up in the stadium. See Leitner adjusting the ball, readying his grip. Oh, a strong throw.
Garcia
Protects
Silveira
himself.
scooching back.
Woo!
Just lays under that ball.
Classic.
Renican just misses.
Yep. Hey, lots of balls over on Australia's side. He's going to
Sign-
slow it down and collect himself.
And we saw Canada electing to show a bit of restraint with those last two balls as well.
And there's no rush for Australia at this point.
Last one ball, I should say.
Ooh.
Big shot.
Wow. And hit.
And
It's down to
Renican.
1v1.
Big shots by Leitner, and now it's up to Estabrooks.
We got a gun show right here. Both players have incredible arms.
Leitner eludes it,
Releases both balls.
and I think that's a hit, yeah?
Yes. So, can we issue a penalty to Canada for excessive aggressiveness for the releasing their balls? Again, for one match, it paid off. For I believe Garcia Silvera we saw earlier, but wow, very surprising just to see both of those balls go out, but entertaining nonetheless for both these players.
If you think you have that shot with that second ball, you can take it, but
both of them clearly have great throws.
yeah, but it can be risky. That ball in hand can be good for self-defense. But in the meantime, 9-4, Australia in the lead, with just under 10 minutes remaining in this match. So I think we're still going to see Canada try and play fast, because I doubt they're at the point where they're going to want to cede the match.
Well, and either way, you still want the point differential. If you can take some more sets before the match ends, this could matter by the final day, that you pulled out a couple more wins.
Yeah, that playoff seeding can come down to plus minus, and I think we saw, it looks like Chan hit out on the far side. Australia coming to the line. And we see a couple of back and forth. Renican hit out.
Low throws, but good on Renican.
Yeah. Chow hit out as well.
You're not seeing Australia throw too many catchable throws.
They did get a hit there on Leitner after he had done a lot of damage in the previous few sets. Now Watson still out there along with Tran. And a pretty safe throw.
Quick release. Just about the midway mark of the court. And it looks like Canada's ready for a potential rush. Yeah, here it goes.
Yeah, and I think we saw Eustace letting go of that ball while he was still alive. Before that ball hitting him had gone dead. So you are allowed to throw your ball if you aren't actually eliminated yet from the ball that hit you popping up in the air. So
your ball is live until it hits the ball that hit you hits the ground.
Two shots coming, and they find Watson. So I'm sure Canada's going to say, we need a little more of that. Good accurate throws. Some chances taken, but maybe a little more calculated, or maybe just a little more higher degree of execution there.
We didn't see an all-out gun show, thankfully.
Yeah.
We saw the shots were hitting.
Yeah, and Mexico, though, still... Sorry. I was looking
in
over at
Mexico
their game.
right now, the 2019 World Dodgeball Championship.
Australia still in the driver's seat of this match.
In Mexico.
Thanks for the save. I appreciate that. Ooh, Hughes just hit. Zanke hit out as well. And there's a big start from Australia.
And what an effect the first several seconds of a set can be with that opening rush.
Ooh. Big shot from Chan. But just missing Estabrooks in the air.
Looks like Renican making that play call.
And in the back and forth, I think Garcia Silvera connecting.
A little preemptive strike on him. Player advantage is Australia's. Play call and the ball handed off.
Well, and that pressure from Tom Singh almost causing the shot clock to go, but we see Leitner and Tom Singh exchanged. Australia still 4 players to Canada's 3.
Yeah, if you're Australia, you don't mind trading players.
And Renican electing to throw, that resets that shot clock.
And sometimes you think that he might be throwing to just ready his body for a catch.
Estabrooks tagged out there. I think he was ready for a catch too, but...
Renican, a great example of a player who doesn't mind tossing the ball quickly and then being ready for the counter throw.
Garcia Silvera going aggressive. He gets through the blocking ball.
Takes out the guard. Ball advantage for Australia. Looks like the left guard was calling the play. Ball is up.
Yeah, Watson hit out. That ball Returning to the Canadian side, we see Ranican hit out. He looks unhappy.
But also a perfect throw. Right on the right hip.
Yeah, beautifully placed. Chan has done so much work in this match.
Yeah.
Garcia Silveira was tagged there.
No heroics this time.
Yeah, he's had his moments, but sadly this was not one of them. And
hopefully he can refocus. He's back on the guard position.
yeah, Australia really accurate on those throws. They've been able to put them on the chest sometimes for those big booming shots, but also just outside the body and just kind of grazing the players on the way by.
That's actually one thing, being closer to the sidelines, that I noticed is you can tell the difference between like a rec national level and this world stage by the sound of the ball hitting a player's body.
Yep.
It has an enormous booming noise. It actually makes it easier to ref at a higher level because it's just absolutely clear when a player gets gut shot.
And we saw Zanke jumping early there, put the hand up immediately saying, yep, my bad.
And that's the first issue on this half. So they can do it one more time before it has an effect.
Australia quick off the rush this time. They connect with Estabrooks. Estabrooks was coming up to receive that lateral back, but he was clipped before he could let it go. Good, clean, quick rush play by the Australian side.
I'd say overall they've had an advantage there.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Leong here is hit out, so we've gone to a 5-on-5.
That was a good cross-court throw.
Got about 6 minutes remaining in this half. And we see a connection.
I love preemptive strikes. Just throwing right before a team is about to throw, just to mix things up. Not doing it all the time, because otherwise the team will get used to it. Uh-oh! Have we got... Oh, we're down to one ball.
Yeah, that was...
Yo, Canada.
Yeah. We are seeing Canada playing aggressively, a lot of motion on
all
defense.
The players, yeah. So generally what you'd see here is a player like Zanke would be pushing himself farther up to draw attention from the throwers.
Yeah, but the whole team moving around here.
Yeah.
Hot shot,
successful
blocked by
block.
Watson. Yep. And Australia huddling. Eustis goes on that charge play. He's alive for now. That one pops up, but out of play.
Takes the trade. Lots of balls for Canada right now.
Yeah, they've got the ball advantage. They connect. Chan knocked out.
Chan BP.
Oh, they very quickly take
in
another.
The air. Can't block it. Oh. And now a 1v situation, 1v3.
It's just Watson. He wants that third
he
ball.
wants the 3 balls. Ready to fire 2 balls very quickly, likely. Oh, no. 1 and then pull back.
Mergler with a lateral
Curious what he's going to do with the ball here. Okay, so he's got the advantage, so he can get a ball out.
Thompson trapping that one, and I think they're still going to wait for Watson to throw another.
Yeah. He's got his 3, so he's keeping that 1 ball down there to act as a... Oh. I was wondering if it was going to be for protection.
All 3 balls thrown. Canada does need to connect, so I think I understand why they do it, but that may mean a good 20 seconds can be spent by Watson here.
And they're, of course, a smart team. That might not translate to the next match they play. They've just chosen to be very aggressive against Australia right now.
Yeah, it has worked for them earlier in this tournament, as evidenced by the undefeated record coming in, but Australia seeming to play quite well against it. And Canada still looks like they're going to be hunting for another ball. I think Australia on the far side, Argentina just secured a huge point. I believe they're just down 7-6 to Mexico now. And over on this side, still unable to connect. Watson doing a great job of just eating up the clock. It is his turn to throw. Jaden Watson just missing toward kind of a bunch up. Zanke decides not to take it.
Okay. So Watson again with the advantage and holding his 3 balls.
And now Canada attacking. Thompson missing. Zanke holding the line. I kind of expect Canada might go for a forced trade here. They've got those balls on the ground. I think that means charge.
Yeah.
And no luck.
Yeah. And again, Watson is playing with the time here. He doesn't mind if it's a slow, drawn-out match with this 1v3.
A little under 3 minutes, and he's been killing, I think, a good 2 minutes almost now by himself. So.
And I feel like that's one of the advantages in this case of holding those 3 balls. You can go up to the line, throw, and be very prepared to defend as he is right now.
And you can see he's putting it toward the players, but he's far enough back that the counters aren't easy. That shot from Mergler a little wild. So Zanke swapping out with Mergler now, trying to see if maybe a combination of Jason Mergler and Richard Tom Singh can find the mark on Watson. Mergler's shot, ooh, that one came out quick, but Watson doing a great job of staying low and underneath. 2 minutes.
He's going to be exhausted. That's a long situation. Any 1v takes out all your energy. It's incredible.
Mergler able to block that one aside.
Accurate, but not hard enough.
Canada's throw now with 3. Watson still.
And they fire their balls. It's incredible. It's at least consistent.
I mean, I understand why they're doing it. This is a situation where they need to actually eliminate the opposing player to give themselves a chance at the match. See Zanke taking over that corner again.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more aggressiveness by Canada on the counters.
Watson doing a great job here. He's still in it.
Right in the corner.
Every time Canada misses with 3 balls, that's like 20 seconds of time that Watson's able to eat.
And notice him drawing the crowd's energy up as well. One of the things I noticed, and it hit! Okay, Watson doesn't always go to the complete corner.
Yeah.
He does a smart job of keeping himself near the corner so he has mobility in either direction. So he puts himself on the right area. But again, he's more than happy to be near the middle.
Tom Singh now, no ball. Watson attacks. Hits!
Oh, man! What a
Huge!
comeback!
Jaden Watson.
Watson. Wow.
I hope they let him sit off for this next set because
just so good in Watson.
he earned a rest. There are only 49 seconds remaining in this match. So at this point, foregone conclusion that Australia is taking the match. Canada's going to want to capture some momentum for themselves, but all that's going to mean right now is a little bit in the plus-minus if they can take this last, well, probably last point.
Get ready to have that moment be shown as a Twitch clip later on.
Man, you're going to have a lot of it, though. You have to fast forward to make it fit. 30-second clips, not enough justice. And off the rush, big shot onto Houston.
Wow. Yeah, and quickly passes the balls off to his teammates and heads to the box.
Martin Dutil now in the match for Canada.
Yep.
First time I believe we've seen him in this match.
But what did we just see again?
Yeah.
6 balls for Australia.
Yeah, it's not late enough that you want to give up all the balls, and
But
Canada survives.
yeah.
I think it was only
No
the
punishment.
ball retriever in the back who did get hit.
Okay, we did hear a noise. But,
Yeah. And those shots just barely finding the mark on Troy Haynes. 5 seconds. We see the back and forth. Snow. He's still alive.
oh, the balls are just circling him, but no touch. Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit of a flurry of activity toward that corner, but
Well, there we go. It's a sudden death situation.
yeah, so no blocking again. Otherwise, the rules are the same, but the teams are going to start on the back line, 3 balls each. Watson, hilariously, still out there. I don't know how he's still breathing, but
And let's see who gets that final point.
ooh, everything missed.
Flying from Canada.
Oh, Snow, I think, hit up high. He was just charging up to try and draw in a catch.
Oh yeah, he knew that there was no retreating in that situation.
Yeah.
And now lots of balls for Australia against 4 players on Canada then.
Esther Brooks, safe.
Again, a good example of his flexibility and ability to dodge. Pulling his upper body back while he's on his knees.
Oh, there's a shot.
Strong throw on Chan, number 17 on the right guard. Down to 2 players. Oh, Watson, not a hero today.
Well, I mean,
he's a huge hero today over this set.
Leitner, missing.
Leitner can bring that energy for Australia. It's an extra win for them at this point. Don't be blocked. See, now I'm curious with the effect of 3 balls. I feel it's a liability, but
Yeah. So that shot from Estabrooks does close out the final match, or the final point of the match, sorry. Canada getting point number 6, but Australia had 11 of them to take that match. So for Canada, it's Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Huge effort by the Australian team, ending Canada's undefeated run in the round robin here. That is one of the best matches I feel like we've seen.
I won't be surprised if we see these two teams again.
Some updates from the other courts. We know that Malaysia did beat Hong Kong 13-1, so very strong statement victory from Malaysia. It looks like the Mexico game has ended between Mexico and Argentina. I think that means Mexico wins 8-6, but we'll see if we can get confirmation of that. So yeah, surprised? Excited?
Well, it just adds to the story narrative coming into playoffs if these two teams square off. And now we're getting to a point where, as well, the standings might shift.
Yep.
No longer an undefeated team with Canada. Australia likely moving its way up from the 5th place. We'll see.
Yeah, it does mean that on the men's side, the United States is in sole possession of first place, no longer just by tiebreaker, just by a better record. But they have quite a few games tomorrow coming up. You'll see several of them on the main stage here. But yeah, Canada, I mean, that's only one loss, so you don't want to let that derail your tournament. But on the off chance that these teams meet again in the playoffs, I'm sure Canada will be looking for revenge.
And again, both teams with strong coaching programs, so it's not going to be a complete repeat of what we saw no matter what. There will be adaptations. Hopefully, maybe we can work on what they're going to do with that aggressive play style. Was it working for them? Was there something they wanted out of that a little bit differently that they can still make happen? But Australia knows it has a winning formula, at least against Canada right now.
Yeah, they... I mean, a loss would have dropped them down to a 500 mark in this tournament, but the win puts them at 4-2, and I think pretty good position to contest for at least one of those top 4 seeds. And so I think with that, we're going to call it on this match. We'll be back with you a little bit later on for our last match of the day here on stream, which will be a men's match between Malaysia and Mexico. But for now, we're going to sign off. My name is Terry Thrasher.
And I'm Ben Johnson.
And we will talk to you soon.